Well, howdy, Johnny Rev. My name is Southern Soldier, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how to get into reenacting. Now, there's two main ways to get into reenacting, but before I start this video, I would like to ask you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and if you have any recommendations for videos in the future, please drop them in the comments section, okay? I would greatly appreciate that. Now, getting into the video. When going into reenacting, if you are interested in it, I would recommend doing some research first and trying to figure out, are there any reenacting groups in the area? I would recommend looking up the drills that you would go through, depending on which army you're going for, US or CS. I don't know too much about US drills. I think that they're about the same, but they might have some differences, so make sure you check up on that. But there are two ways of getting into reenacting. So the first way is seeing if there are any reenacting groups in the area. You can try and Google local reenactments or reenactment groups near me. One thing I've also found is that if you go on Facebook, you can look up reenacting groups on there, and you might be able to find something. But yeah, try and find some local groups in the area and contact the first sergeant. He'll get you set up, he'll tell you the schedules. Now, the second way you can get into reenacting is going to a friend, okay? Now, the way I got into reenacting was I've always been interested in it, but I was working at a music store, and the owner of the music store was actually going to a reenactment near me, and he was going to be doing an instruments demonstration, and I figured, well, I've been wanting to do this, so I might as well go with him. So whenever I went with him, I helped him out, but while I was there, I also contacted the first sergeant of the reenactment group there, and he got me set up, and I was fighting that day. Now, the first day, I was carrying the flag, and the second day, I was carrying the gun. So, we'll get into that in a minute. Now, one thing that a lot of people look towards whenever they're going into reenacting is the cost. Is it going to cost anything? One thing that I've experienced is, as far as uniform goes, it does get really expensive. Uniforms run roughly $100 to $200. You can get $200 kits, but before you get any piece of uniform, I would recommend asking your first sergeant. If you want to see essential reenacting gear, what you want to get first before you get anything else, you can go on my channel, and there I made a video about that. It is in two parts because my camera cut out, but yeah, if you want to look at that, it's on my channel. So, yeah, as far as cost goes, uniform not included, reenactments don't cost anything to get into if you are fighting in it. If you have family coming, obviously it's more than likely to be donation, but some might demand money, so it's probably not going to run over 20 bucks. For family to get in, that is. But for you, if you're fighting, it's free. Now, one thing that they do charge for is lunch. Whoever's cooking lunch and dinner, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, will charge you. One of our corporal's wives, she cooks for us, and she charges about 10 bucks per person for eating, but that is for the whole weekend. And in case you didn't know, reenacting, I don't know about other units, but this is what our unit does. Reenactments only occur on weekends, okay? So that is one thing you want to consider before any of this. So I probably should have said that first, but before considering any of this, look at your schedule, see if you can make the time to do reenacting, okay? Like I said, it only happens on weekends. We do one about every month. Sometimes we'll do 2 or 3, but mostly 1. But yeah, if you're still in school, the whole weekend thing will really help out. I'm in extracurricular stuff. I'm in a bluegrass band. I'm in choir, and it does interfere sometimes, but I haven't had too many run-ins with it, so it's been fine for me. But moving on to what I was saying before, cost, about all you have to pay is lunch. And even then, you could always eat before you go, and you'd be set. So, if you eat before you go, it doesn't cost anything to get in. Now, the next thing you want to look at is, let me think. Oh, before I get on to the next subject, it will cost you if you are going to shoot a gun. You have to buy powder and you have to buy caps. Now, what my first sergeant does is, I think he charges $15 for a cap and powder bundle, or a cap and cartridge bundle. You get a tube full of caps, and then about 20 tubes, or a cartridge full of caps, and about 20 cartridges full of powder. So, that'll set you up. Now, moving on into the next thing, shooting a gun. Now, when going into reenacting, if you're wanting to shoot, you have to be 16. Now, I am 15. I started whenever I was 14. And what my first sergeant will do is he will ask my parents, he asked my parents if it was okay for me to shoot. As long as your parents give you permission that it is okay to shoot, they'll let you do it. Now, going through drills, I might make a video on drills one day, but, yeah, drills, they'll drill you on everything and get you set up. But yeah, you kind of want to aim for 16 if you just want to be able to shoot a gun without being asked questions. And I guess the next thing about getting started in reenacting is, I want to say probably, sorry about that little pause, guys, I had to go do something, but I'm back now. What I was going to say before is, the next thing that you would probably want to consider is, where are your reenactments going to be at? Now, one thing that my unit does is we do a lot of local reenactments. Most of our reenactments aren't but maybe 30 minutes out. The farthest local reenactment is about an hour. But, yeah, usually our local events aren't over an hour away. Now, we do some out-of-state reenactments, like Bentonville, which is in North Carolina. We do some up in Virginia, some in Kentucky. So, you want to look at where are your reenactments going to be at. Now, my parents, we have to stay close because of my grandparents, close to home. But, if your unit that you're looking at getting into is going to do a lot of out-of-state reenactments, and there's not going to be many local ones, and you can't do that, you might want to find another unit. Now, if you're able to go out of state, that's great, you can do that. But you just want to look at, where are your reenactments going to be at, and can you go to those locations?